How do a group of religious refugees become the legendary founders of one of America's earliest colonies? The Pilgrims' journey to Plymouth Rock in 1620 is often celebrated as the quintessential tale of courage and faith. However, I must warn you, there's a much darker side to this story, a side often left out of history books. During their first winter, the Pilgrims faced unimaginable hardships. Starvation drove them to the brink, and there are haunting allegations of cannibalism as they struggled to survive. Nearly half of the original 102 passengers perished, victims of the brutal conditions. Then there's the story of Squanto, the Native American who ensured their survival. Kidnapped, enslaved, and returning to find his tribe decimated by disease. Squanto's life was a saga of tragedy and resilience, adding a shocking twist to the Pilgrims' tale of cooperation. Their interactions with Native Americans were far from harmonious. Initial hostility and acts of grave robbing paint a much grimmer picture of the Pilgrims' early days in the New World. Join us as we uncover the shocking truths behind the Pilgrims' journey to Plymouth Rock, a tale of survival, hypocrisy, and unintended genocide. This is the hidden history of America's early settlers. Chapter 1. The starvation and cannibalism during the first winter. The Mayflower landed at Plymouth Rock in December 1620. But what awaited the Pilgrims was far from the land of opportunity they had imagined. That first winter was brutal, with food supplies dwindling and no established shelter. The Pilgrims faced starvation. Only about half of the original 102 passengers survived. But what's even more shocking are the allegations of cannibalism during this desperate time. Descriptions of the Pilgrims eating the remains of their deceased companions highlight the extreme measures they took to survive. Chapter 2. The role of Squanto and his enslavement. Amidst this struggle, a Native American named Squanto, or Tisquantum, played a crucial role in the Pilgrims' survival. But Squanto's story is not one of simple cooperation. Before meeting the Pilgrims, he had been kidnapped by an English explorer, sold into slavery in Spain, and eventually made his way back to his homeland, only to find his tribe decimated by disease. This tragic backstory adds a shocking twist to the commonly told narrative of Pilgrim-Native cooperation. Chapter 3. The Pilgrims' initial hostility towards Native Americans. Contrary to the harmonious image often portrayed, the early encounters between the Pilgrims and Native Americans were fraught with tension and hostility. There were instances where the Pilgrims raided Native American graves for food and supplies. These acts of desperation and disrespect laid a troubling foundation for future relations. Chapter 4. The exploitation of Native American knowledge and resources. Despite these tensions, the Pilgrims relied heavily on Native American agricultural knowledge. The methods of planting corn and using fish as fertilizer were crucial to their survival. However, this vital assistance is often glossed over in popular retellings, overshadowing the significant contributions of indigenous peoples. Chapter 5. The impact of European diseases on native populations. One of the most devastating impacts of European contact was the spread of diseases. Smallpox, influenza, and other illnesses brought by the Pilgrims and earlier explorers decimated Native American populations. The Pilgrims found cleared fields and empty villages not because of their pioneering spirit, but because diseases had wiped out large portions of the indigenous population. Chapter 6. The misunderstood First Thanksgiving. The first Thanksgiving is often portrayed as a harmonious feast. While there was indeed a feast in 1621, it was not the first of its kind and was not initially meant to be an annual event. Moreover, the relationship between the Pilgrims and Native Americans deteriorated rapidly after this event, leading to conflicts and further colonization pressures. Chapter 7. The religious intolerance of the Pilgrims. Despite seeking religious freedom, the Pilgrims were not proponents of religious tolerance. They imposed strict religious conformity in their new colony and often persecuted dissenters and those with different beliefs. This stark contrast between their quest for freedom and their treatment of others highlights the complexities of their legacy. By exploring these shocking angles, we gain a more nuanced and surprising perspective on the Pilgrims landing at Plymouth Rock and the subsequent establishment of the Plymouth colony. History is often more complex than the stories we are told, and it is essential to uncover these hidden truths to fully understand our past. Thank you for watching. If you found this video enlightening, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more historical revelations.